What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at a movie review. This is been a long time in the making, I'm going to be honest. I have waited 2 weeks to do this, just because I've been busy with work and other videos, so this one has been pushed back. So remember, this is a 2-week perspective on a film that I watched 2 weeks ago, okay? Everyone got that? We good? So, me, my nana, and my granddad all sat down to watch a movie my granddad's friend recommended to him called Arthur the King. It does star Shang-Chi and also Mark Wahlberg, and they're both here in this movie about a dog, and it's about a racing group. It's based on a real story, and that's pretty much the basic premise. So, without any further ado, any further delay, let's hop over to what Google has to say and see what ratings it has to see if they match up with what I think about this movie. So, Arthur the King, it is on Prime, Amazon Prime, so you can watch it for yourself, but it does have a 7 out of 10 IMDb, a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 4.9 out of 5 on Facebook. It is a 1 hour and 47 movie. It feels like a lot fucking longer, but how this movie goes out is this. Desperate for one last chance to win, Michael Light convinces a sponsor to back him and a team of athletes for the Adventure Racing World Championship in the Dominican Republic. As the team gets pushed to their outer limits of endurance, redefining what victory, loyalty, and friendship truly means. So how this movie starts is, obviously, Mark Wahlberg fails in a race, and Shang-Chi takes a picture of him, posts it, and that's not how he wants his legacy to end. So he steals a load of money from his wife. That plot point never gets brought up again. I'll talk about that in a bit, but that pissed me off. And they go off to the Dominican Republic to go race. He then shows us flashbacks of how he sort of picked out his team and how he convinced them to go on this massive grand last race with him. And they all go. They all start very strong. They all have a plan. They all have a strategy. They were training for 2 days, and they got in, and they were going. They get to the first stop, perfect. Get to the second stop, pretty decent. They find a dog, they feed it meatballs. They go to the third, fourth, and fifth stop. After sort of biking, rock climbing, running, walking, zip wiring, getting stuck on the zip wire, a load of shit that could go wrong, it did go wrong. But they made it to this next outpost, and they found a dog. It had been following them for so fucking long, and it saves them not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times from falling off a cliff, from getting swept away by a river, and also drowning. This dog is absolutely immaculate, and is basically a fucking tour guide for this jungle that they're all running through. We then have them get to the next couple of checkpoints with Shang-Chi sort of losing it a little bit and needing an IV, and we also have the dog dying and, it's slowly injured. They manage to continue, get ahead of the pack, get in front, but they're told that they have to leave the dog behind. The dog doesn't take that. They take the dog after saving it from drowning and carry him across the finish line. They then take it to a vet to get it checked out. The dog's dying. They want to put it down. Mark Wahlberg's like, ho, 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 no. And goes to file for it to be taken back to the America. He gets it granted. It goes on a plane, like an 8-hour plane ride. Still alive. Goes into an operation. We have a death scare. And then the movie ends with both Mark Wahlberg and the dog running over a field. That is where the movie ends. They came second, so they didn't even win. However, that's the movie. That was the quickest run through of the movie that I could do, just to sort of catch you up to speed. CGI, there was none, so we don't have to talk about it. Acting, it's another movie where Mark Wahlberg plays himself. It is just the Mark Wahlberg character. He's there, and he just vibes. He cannot grow a beard for shit. I'm sorry. I have to say it. His beard was awful, and he should have definitely trimmed that out a little bit before going in, because he did look like a crazy old person with that beard. He just cannot grow one, like, at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you Mark Wahlberg stans, but he just cannot grow a beard. The only thing that I watched this movie for was the dog. Did it upset me? Did it make me cry? I was upset, but I didn't cry. I've watched too many movies. It was predictable. I could understand what they were trying to do to give you the death scare, and they kept throwing that death scare at you like, ooh, is the dog going to make it over the flight? Ooh, is the dog going to get over to the USA? Ooh, they're going to let him out of the country? Ooh, is he going to survive the operation? woo, we survived. It's like, it's plotted, it's basic, it's predictable. I knew that he wasn't gonna die. It was just sort of basic. And I know it's based on a true story and the dog didn't die, but having all those sort of quote unquote death scares back to back to back got very boring and repetitive, and it was just shit, man. I'm gonna be honest. I watched this and it felt a lot longer than an hour and 47 minutes. I was struggling to stay awake. I didn't go on my phone. I will admit that. I did not go on my phone, but I was struggling to stay awake. I was struggling to watch this. It was such a shit movie. It stars some really good characters and actors. We have Shang-Chi, we have the girl from Fast and Furious, and we have Mark Wahlberg. But even they can't make it a good movie. I'm sorry. The real story, it's excellent. But as a movie, it didn't put me on edge like it was trying to. It didn't make me care for the characters enough. And it had a real big plot point of Mark Wahlberg going against his wife and sort of taking all their sort of trust fund money, or like their fund money for like a house or something, to enter this race. He took a load of money from his wife, and his wife didn't give a shit. His wife didn't say anything. Hey, that might be a supportive wife, but what the fuck? You still need to have a conversation about that, because he took a lot of fucking money to enter this race. He didn't even ask you about it. So you have right to be upset. Just because it's his last race does not mean he can do that without asking permission. Maybe if he asked and you said yes, that's all good. But he didn't ask. He just took it, and that is not good. That is not good husband material. I'm sorry, I'm saying it. You should have asked for permission for the money. That's it. Ask for permission if you're going to take that amount of money, because that is fucking ridiculous. And the pacing was good. I'm going to be honest. It dragged in places, but the bits that didn't, like, there was some good bits which didn't overstay its welcome. So I liked that. The pacing was decent until the end, when it kept dragging with every single death scare of this dog. And it just made me feel like, can they just get him home already? Like, can they just get him home already? There is not that many more like scares you could have put into it, of like, oh no, is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? Argue, sort of worry, sort of run around after the dog. It is very predictable and very boring. Like, this movie, man, like, I care for the dog, right? I do care for the dog. Do not get me wrong. I did want the dog to live. I did want the dog to survive. But holy shit, was there too many scares in this movie. There was just too much of like, oh no, is the dog going to make it? And that's like my biggest problem with it. Like, that is my biggest issue. Also, what the fuck is with like no one taking that dog somewhere to get it healthy? Like, every person they gave, like, they showed that dog to, like, hey, can you help him? Any vet supplies? There might not be one at this camp, right? There might not be one at this base, but you can radio to the next one to get something flown over. You can get something put over there for the dog. You know, like, you could arrange for the dog to move. If you can ship all this stuff here, you can ship something for the dog. You can take the dog back to, like, civilization and do something with it. Like, there is so many opportunities for the, like, people running this race to take this dog. This dog was all over the news. This dog was bringing crowds and crowds and crowds of people in to watch this race and to sort of be interested in this race. So why the fuck wasn't they doing anything to help the dog at all? They even said themselves, we heard about the dog, and we're not allowed to let it go forward. We heard about the dog, but there's nothing we can do. What the fuck? Why is no one even attempting to do anything? Why is no one asking to do anything? It is fucking ridiculous, like, the lack of respect that people had for this dog. Like, the lack of, like, empathy, for a lack of a better word, people had for this dog. It is unfucking real, like, just how this dog was treated, like, with all the people running this race. It was ridiculous. But that's more about the real story, and not the movie one. Obviously, the movie one is a lot more dramatized than the real events, obviously, to make the movie a little bit more interesting, a little bit more compelling and sort of watchable. But still, I don't think it deserves any higher than a 6 out of 10. I watched it once. It was alright. Will I watch it again? Probably not. Will I recommend it to anybody? Probably not. If you want to watch this movie, go for it. I ain't your mum. I ain't your dad. I ain't your brother. Go do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's your life. Live it how you want it. If you want to watch this movie, go for it. But I don't recommend wasting like 2 hours watching it. It's a 6 out of 10 at best. So, other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. I hope you have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe.